All right, and I'm getting a little message on my screen here that tells me I'm live. So it looks like we're live. Good evening. This is attorney James Betzold. I almost said James Betzold calling. I'm not calling. This is attorney James Betzold. I'm an immigration attorney. If you're seeing me on Facebook, it's because you're my friend. So let's be nice to each other because we all know there's trolls out there. All right, I want to share a couple things with you today about TPS for Venezuelans. You may have heard by now that TPS, which stands for Temporary Protected Status, is now made available to those from Venezuela or who have Venezuelan nationality or whose, if they're stateless, their last habitual country of residence was Venezuela. Temporary protected status is not permanent residency. It's not a green card. It's not citizenship. Someone with TPS can't vote, and it's actually very, very temporary in nature. TPS status is only given in increments of 18 months at a time. Sometimes TPS only lasts 18 months. Sometimes it can last for years, or as long as whatever emergency or temporary situation is lasting. So here we are today. I have a couple free things to offer. We have a tool that we've released. It's an online questionnaire screening tool. If you're a Venezuelan or have Venezuelan nationality, or you have a friend or family member who is, and you want to find out if they would qualify for TPS for Venezuelans, all you got to do is navigate to my website. My website is at betzoldlaw.com. It's in the description of this video. It's also commonly found right here. Well, no, it's here. Here we go. Visafeliz.com. That gets you there as well, right? So there's a URL forward. So Visafeliz or betzoldlaw.com will get you there. And let me briefly share, just briefly, where it is on the page so you can find it quickly without any problem at all. Here we go. You navigate to our webpage, right? You can choose whether you want this in English or Spanish, and you click on this red box here. It runs you through a series of questions, which will help you determine if you qualify for TPS for Venezuelans. So it's free. It's easy to use. It's there for whoever would like it. There's absolutely no commitment involved with it. We have that out as a free tool for people to use to help the community. All right. Now, in the description, I included a little bit of hint of something that is especially available to people who live in Michigan and then obtain their TPS. And this would include those who are going to obtain TPS under the Venezuelan program. For people who have TPS, if you live in a certain federal district, okay, so we all know about the different courts of appeals. There's the First Circuit, the Second Circuit. Some people really like the Ninth Circuit. Some people really don't like them. But the thing is, they're just different geographic regions of the United States. And there's courts there that decide appeals on cases that are brought before them. So I think for this trick, I will also want to share just a map of what these federal districts look like. Oh, I must have closed it. Tell you what, I'm going to open it up right here. And we're just going to call it Federal District Court Map. And there's one that I like a lot right here. This one will work. All right, let's start sharing that information. We're going to just share that screen. All right, so as you can see here, these are the geographic boundaries for the 12 different federal district courts of appeals, right? So what happens is if there's somebody who sues in the Ninth Circuit and the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals says, yeah, we think that part of the law is wrong, we're going to change it, or it's going to apply differently in this geographical area, then they can do that. And if in the 10th Circuit, the Court of Appeals looks at the same legal issue and says, yeah, we think it's different, though. In this area, the law is going to be applied a little differently. Then you have what's called a circuit court split. And then the courts, well, the attorneys in those cases, they have the opportunity to appeal their decision to the United States Supreme Court, who will decide it for everybody. And then that becomes controlling law everywhere. Now, What happens, though, is the Supreme Court doesn't have to take any case that they don't want to take. And they don't even have to give a reason why they don't want to take a case. So you can have a decision that applies the law one way in the Ninth Circuit and a completely different way in the 10th Circuit. Again, a circuit court split that's not been resolved by the Supreme Court, and it can go like that for decades and decades. So what happened in regards to TPS is there was a lawsuit brought in the Ninth Circuit and a lawsuit brought in the Sixth Circuit, where we live here in Michigan. And in those lawsuits, the attorneys and the clients were saying, look, the government gave us TPS. They gave us a work authorization document. They gave us what amounts to a legal admission to the United States. We're here legally now. And they said, because of that, we believe that if we have a child who's over 21 or a spouse or a parent who wants to petition for us, we should be able to obtain our green card here without having to leave the country and go through all that hassle and the additional paperwork. In the Ninth Circuit, the court said, yeah, that makes sense to us. We're going to do that. And in the Sixth Circuit, they also said, yep, that sounds like a good idea. That sounds like the way the law is written and intended to be enforced. So every other circuit either hasn't had a lawsuit on the topic or they came down on the other side of the issue. That's a long way of explaining the fact that if you live in one of these states in the Ninth Circuit or one of these states in the Sixth Circuit, and you've received TPS, that counts as a legal entry for you, and you can do what's called an adjustment of status here in the United States. You don't have to leave to get your green card. In most situations, there's always exemptions if there's criminal history or something, or if you need some other sort of waiver, maybe you still have to leave. But this is actually a huge benefit that's open only to individuals in these two federal circuits. That's why if you live in Michigan and if you've received TPS or you're applying now for TPS, once you're approved for TPS, you have your legal entry to the United States. So that's the headline for today. I will only simply remind you that we do have this free tool to share with you. And it is right here on our webpage, betsoldlaw.com, or you can find us at visafeliz.com. Click this red button right here, and you'll get walked through a screening questionnaire to figure out if you qualify for TPS. And then on top of that, we provide you with a copy of a written report detailing the information that you shared and the result that we came to based on that information. We hope you find it useful. We hope you can use this to help your friends and your family. And if there's anything we can do to help, we're always willing to do so as well. I'm attorney James Betzold, an immigration attorney with more than 12 years of experience doing this, handling a wide variety of cases. That's all for tonight. I hope you have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.